and goat's cheese is a great combination. So I'm not going to overcomplicate really simple things. We're going to make a pear, pancetta and goat's cheese tart. But one thing I will say, a little tip, whenever you're using goat's cheese, always add some sweetness somewhere. So we'll make a little syrup to go on top. The first thing I want to do is make that syrup. So we'll turn our little saucepan on, and I'm making a maple syrup, as silly as that sounds. So about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup into our pot. If you wanted to use honey, you could use honey. If you wanted to do a sugar syrup, you could do a sugar syrup. Just you do need some sweetness when you're using goat cheese because goat cheese is quite sour. And then in with that, I need about 40 grams of butter. So that's a big knob, so normally about 2 knobs of butter. And just melt that until those two come together, and we'll end up with a little sticky syrup that we can put on top of our tarts. So while that's doing its thing, we'll get our tarts ready. So I've got a sheet of our Borg short crust, which I want to cut into probably not the size of your pears. I've got little tiny baby pears from our garden here. So I can get, if I cut it down the middle here, and then into 3s, so we'll end up with 6 tarts, and they can go onto a lined baking tray. So if you had really big pears, like normal sized pears, I shouldn't say really big pears because they're just normal, then you'd probably need to cut that into quarters. So you'd end up using a sheet and a half of our short crust, but because we've got little ones, I only need 1 sheet. Now, pancetta down first. I just want to fold it and lay that on the bottom of each piece of our pastry. So I end up using 6 of our pancetta. And then I'll pop our goat's cheese on top of that, which I'll just cut little thin slices of. And I'll probably get 2 of those per tart. And this is why you need the sweetness in the dish, because of the goat's cheese. The chev is really quite sour. This is an ash one, so it's got some ash on the outside, which is what that black is. It's just the chev which has been rolled in ash. And then I want my pear to go on top of that. So take this stem off, cut them in half, then in half again, then cut those pieces in half, and then cut those pieces in half. So we'll end up with really thin wedges of pear. Just take out any of the core that's left in there. I'll probably use these baby pears. I'll probably use 1 pear per little tart. I just want to lay them on top of each other, so you've got a nice little presentation of pear. Push it down into the cheese. Actually, I'll probably get, I reckon I'll get 2 for 1. And then the last thing is just a sprig of thyme on each one, on top, and then the syrup over the top of that, and then into our preheated oven, which is 180 degrees, and they'll take about 20 to 25 minutes. And this syrup, hold, reserve what you've got left, don't get rid of it, because once they come out, you can put a little bit of syrup back on top as well. We don't need a lot, just a little bit, and then make sure you hold on to it for that bit at the end. So we'll reserve that. These go into the oven. 25 minutes, we'll take them out, give them another lashing of that syrup, and then they're ready to eat.